You ready for a little excitement? You're watching Know the Cause. I'm your humbled host, Doug Kaufman. Here's the excitement you're in for today. What I try and do, folks, is educate you to understand what in medicine we say is the etiology of your arthritis, of your horrible stomach problems, of your skin problems that's sending you to a new dermatologist every month.
Hi, my name is Abby, and today we're going to do something a little bit different in the kitchen on Know the Cause. Instead of baking anything for you today, I'm actually going to explain to you the different types of flours that we use here at Know the Cause.
To exfoliate, you know what, you can put everything good on. You can pay $400 for something you get in the store. And if you're not taking the dead skin off, it's not going to work the way it's supposed to.
These things are known to cause cancer. Hepatitis B and hepatitis C virus. This program is brought to you by Long Life Unlimited, national distributors of TKO and Rapha Remedy. My name is Doug Kaufman. For the past 40 years, I've dedicated my life and even my career to finding the root cause of disease. Join me in a team of physicians, pharmacists, and scientists, and soon you too will know the cause. Barb Long of Long Life Unlimited. Barb is here today. And so we have a lot of things she said on my desk here. And she said, I want to talk about women's issues today. And as I'm looking at these, their skin care. Every woman in the world wants better skin. Can't have good enough skin or too much money. I know, male or female. Okay, so we're going to do a half of the show today to talk about a cleanse that I remember through the years you putting together, and women are raving about this, from the wash to the final, right? Myrrh, frankincense spray, Rapha, so forth. And then I'd like to do the second half on other women's issues, right? So let's start with skin. And Barb, you just told me can I tell your age? 25. I mean, that's Ruth. Ruth still looks good. She has beautiful skin, and you do too.
65, I'm
65.
going to be.
Good for you. Good for you. That's retirement age. So start at this end and teach us a little bit about exfoliated skin, that which comes off. We lose cells all day on our, on our skin. Yeah. And how you take care of that, and then this one I really like. I remember when you invented that one for wrinkles. Okay, so go down here.
Well, the biggest thing is people call and ask, you know what, I do not have perfect skin. You guys see what you see, and I'm really glad, and it's flattering when you call and ask all these questions. But everybody's got something. But one of the big things, we forget to exfoliate. And so we have
Barb, let me interject. Someone's going to pay a couple $100 to go in a spa and have them do this.
Somebody might.
Right, exactly. You don't have to. You have all this. This is an at-home spa. This is how to do your spa. Is. Okay. Is it done before you go to bed in the evening?
Not every day, but good parts of it are. Okay. But different people do different things. So, but I thought that was neat that you put that together, because I would never have thought that. But we'll give you all the credit for that. But to exfoliate, you know what, you can put everything good on. You can pay $400 for something you get in the store. And if you're not taking the dead skin off, it's not going to work the way it's supposed to. So we have the Rapha Spa exfoliating scrub. Takes a little bit, and it takes the dead skin off. It also has Rapha Remedy in it, so you're still putting more oils in. But see, we got the new product, one of the new ones, the next one here in the bottle. No, one more over. Yeah, that is the makeup remover, and it's got jojoba and some different oils and coconut, and it's really nice because it's not stripping your skin again. You can do something after you use it. You just take your makeup and stuff off, but you don't have to use a bunch of other stuff if you don't want to. Okay. If you want to, then there's a cleanser and a toner, and that then makes the pH right and all that stuff that everybody talks about. Restore is squalene from olive, and that is one of our top sellers, and for wrinkles and fine lines, and that you can use that even.
This guy right here,
only
the clear
takes
one,
a couple drops. Yep. The thing that it was based on is something that's $125 in the store, And
how much is it?
$29.95.
20.
It'll last you months. But the one on the other side of it doesn't have the correct label yet. It's called a night oil. And I know we've had people ask for night creams, and I'm not so much into that, but the night oil, it will help tighten and do some other things. And it's really, really good product. It's got some carrot seed oil and rose and a lot of other things in it. Then we got regular Rapha Remedy and the moisturizer. And Rapha Remedy is not only for your face. You can use that, I know we're going to the other side, but for your feet and calluses and all kinds of things. And so it's a whole regimen.
I like the myrrh and frankincense.
That you can spray. You know, that was made for people who can't be by perfume much.
See, a lot of people with chemical sensitivities
like me,
watch this show. I fully understand that.
Yep.
But ladies, it's not just skin. And men, it's not just skin. When we get back, we're going to talk about something called sleep. We're going to talk about something called hair. We're going to talk about issues that affect both men and women. So don't go away. Barb and I will be right back. The information we're talking about on today's show with Barb Long of Barb and Frank Long, Long Life Unlimited, is all in this book, Long Life Unlimited. Their catalog for 2018, I remember it's 4 pages, now it's 57 pages, which is kind of cool. You guys have grown and grown and grown. They're out of Lima, Ohio. I used to go there and lecture. And huge number. What a huge
following.
Huge
people
following.
Love you and miss you horribly there.
I know. They
really need you on TV there. I don't care what anybody
Barb,
says.
I'll tell you, we're all over the United States now. People can find me any time of the day. So we talked about your skin, ladies, and we wanted to know if Barb had, put together a little menu on how to do all this. But she said they're women. They already know what exfoliation is. They already know about these creams and so forth. Take me down this line and teach me a little bit about what you recommend.
Okay. Now these are just things that we carry that we believe in. 2 of them are ours. 2 of them are two other companies, but they're what we believe in. The collagen NeoCell Super Collagen is great for hair, skin, and nails. You know what? I'm turning 65. We've got people in their, from stress or just starting at the age of 20, your body stops producing the right sebum and collagen and stuff the way nobody tells us until it's too late, almost. But there's things that you can do to rebuild. And a lot of stress issues, women are losing their hair. That the NeoCell has helped tremendously with that. And then the nervousness and not sleeping and anxiety. And I fought all that for years and I'm still fighting. And there's certain things that do absolutely nothing. And there's certain things that you see a lot of good making headway for people. And that new product, they've changed it. It was called Primal Calm. It was Mark Sisson used to be a sponsor with you.
Yep.
It's still an excellent product. They changed the name. It's called Adaptogen Calm. And we know people even that work at BP in Findlay, Ohio, that is high, just stress stuff, and men that take that and sleep like babies. So,
and I really like what you say, Barb. When it deals with men and women's hormones, and when it deals with our stresses, it's all a thumbprint. You might take another product and notice nothing. The people, I have a bottle of this at home.
Do you really?
Yes. The people who use this product really love it. So as a general statement, it's a good one to start with. It's not expensive. And if you are experiencing a lot of stress, anxiety, etc., that might be a good place to start.
It's not going to hurt you. When my mom died, I was I still am, but it helped tremendously. Then we get regular candida issues. We forget that all fits into hair, skin, nails, losing your hair, all this stuff. And even if you think, well, I don't have candida, yes, you do. Almost everybody does. And the Delimonene works great for that. That's what's in Rapha. That's what's in TKO, and we know what kind of effect it can have. And then menopause support is a very good blend. It's non-intrusive. It doesn't make you, it's not upsetting to the stomach or anything, and that can help too if that's that issue. The other thing I wanted to say was I had a man call up about when we were talking about the Restore, and he said, I got to tell you, ma'am, he's from West Virginia, and just as cute as can be, and he says, I love that for aftershave. And I wouldn't know. I said, what do you mean? He said, oh yeah, it's 10 times better than any aftershave. But men can use these things
Are
too.
you saying that Restore for the fine wrinkle?
Yeah.
I'll bet the guy's as tight as a drum. So after you're done shaving, guys, and you said, you know, I've seen that stuff. I've seen that in papers that come to the house for $175.
Yep.
You're at $29.95.
Yeah.
After you're done shaving, couple of drops, boom.
Yeah.
And boy, you'll be able to bounce a dime off your cheek. I mean,
and see, I don't solicit people's attention and comments and stuff. It's word of mouth testimony. I would never know how to make these things up on some of this stuff people tell us with this, but we've got 80-some-year-old women that their wrinkles are gone and they're just delighted. So
that's what it's all about.
Yes,
it's all about the results,
people.
Not so much what we're saying. Folks, this is the company that brought us TKO. This is the company that brought us Rapha Remedy. They have 700 products and a toll-free number you can call, and it's all in this big catalog. Right?
And we still give out we call it a sample, but it's a lip balm you can use anywhere on your body.
Order. Get some of this, and you'll be ordering this. Barb, thank you so much for coming in. God bless you.
Thank you for having us.
You bet. Any of you have high blood pressure? Here's what pharmacist Susie Cohen says to do about that. Then right after, can fungus grow on me, ringworm? Can fungus grow in me? Stay tuned, watch this.
Have you been told you have hypertension or high blood pressure? It's called the silent killer because it's usually unnoticed until you get a heart attack or stroke. A recently published study has discovered amazing news. Garlic, one of our favorite antifungal spices around here, was shown to be just as effective at lowering blood pressure as the leading medication, which is called atenolol.
You know, my show is called Know the Cause, and I'll never forget many, many years ago when I started this show, I had advertisers to help me cover all the expenses, buying airtime and so forth. And not one of them liked the name Know the Cause, because it doesn't say buy my air purifier, buy my vitamins, you know, buy my antifungals. Know the cause. What I try and do, folks, is educate you to understand what in medicine we say is the etiology of your arthritis, of your horrible stomach problems, of your skin problems that's sending you to a new dermatologist every month. Is he on my list? You know, I think the cause, I've been able to preach this and practice it in many doctors' offices. I think the cause of many diseases that the doctor's chart says etiology unknown. We don't know. I know her skin is horrible, but we don't know the cause. So I'm going to keep her on steroid shots. Oh, and maybe antibiotics. Wow. There's a dangerous downside to all of that. Antibiotic resistance being one of them, steroids in the liver being another one. Come on, guys. Try and figure out the etiology. Your doctor doesn't learn about cause. Your doctor learns about writing a prescription or 2 or 7. A couple of books I want to introduce you to. Phyllentumus fungi in Foods and Feeds. This is an old book. This is a 30, 40-year-old book. And it talks about how commonly hay and foods that cows and goats and pigs and chickens eat, corn, is impregnated with fungus, with a bad fungus, that if we'd eat it, it would be really, really bad. And then this, Principles and Practice of Clinical Mycology. The question has always come up, okay, Doug, I know ringworm can grow in the skin. I know about vaginal yeast. I know about jock itch. I know about toenail fungus. But really, that's all. Those are only places that can be affected by yeast or fungi. Remember, yeast is just a one-celled fungus. And there are 300 fungi now that are known to be pathogenic, disease-causing in man. Candida albicans, penicillium. There's 300 of these, okay? So where can it grow in man? I got a book 22 years ago. A physician got me this book, and he wrote, maybe you're right, Doug, Fungal Infections of the Respiratory Tract. Fungal infections of the eyeball. It's nice and warm. Eyeballs are fungi's hot tubs. Fungal infections of the kidney and those associated with kidney failure. Fungal diseases of the genitourinary system, and a subchapter is fungal prostatitis. You don't think we're passing this back and forth, do you? Fungal infections of the GI tract, gastrointestinal, fungus of the blood, and that which gets disseminated from the lungs to the brain, etc. Fungal diseases of the skin. Fungus causing mass sores or mass lesions on our central nervous system? You mean fungus can make sores? Doc, I've been having this boil that keeps coming up and up and up, and you tell me it's bacterial. Could it be fungal? Yeah, it could. Fungal meningitis, the coatings of the brain and the spinal column. Fungal diseases of the ticker, tickeritis. You know, the good Lord gave us 2 of everything in one heart. And whoa, if that heart should become impregnated with fungus. First thing you see is kind of mitral valve prolapse, and then you can't go to the dentist and get your teeth cleaned without a load of antibiotics. Doesn't that feed the yeast that might be inducing or causing the mitral valve prolapse? And the book just goes on and on. Fungal infections of the bone and joint. A tremendous book that opened my eyes to this question. Where can this fungus grow inside we human beings? The problem is not the fungus. 300 species off-gas a poison once inside our body. What do we eat? We in America eat to feed fungus. We really do. Fast foods, canned foods, box foods. Start eating following the Kaufman 1 diet. It's online. It's in my books. It's free. You can get it online. And watch what happens to your health problems as you begin literally starving these living fungal parasites. As they die, you get better. Okay, you know what question I get asked a lot on Know the Cause? I can't have bread, right? Can't have pasta. Can I make bread or pasta with other flours, and which flours can I use? Into the kitchen we go with Abby.
Hi, my name is Abby, and today we're going to do something a little bit different in the kitchen on Know the Cause. Instead of baking anything for you today, I'm actually going to explain to you the different types of flours that we use here at Know the Cause. On the Kaufman 1 and 2 diets, you can't have normal things like wheat flour or potato flours or anything like that. So we've got a lot of variety of new flours you can use, but they can be kind of tricky if you've never used them before, if you don't know exactly the measurements and ratios to do. So I'm going to try and explain to you a little bit about the different things that you can use. First we're going to start off with is buckwheat flour. And buckwheat it's a really good flour. It's really good for really heavy things, like if you want to make pancakes or really heavy breads. It's really good. You need to use probably around twice the amount of like a leavening agent, like the baking soda or baking powder, because it is very heavy and it takes a lot to make it rise. Next up, we have tapioca flour. Tapioca flour is very finely milled. See, it's very powdery. This would be something you'd want to use for like a thickening agent. Like if you're making a gravy, or if you want to thicken up some soup or a sauce or anything like that, you're going to want to add tapioca flour. Now you only need a little bit because it is a thickening agent, so you don't need to use a ton. This is where you're going to see things like probably like a teaspoon, tablespoon, stuff like that of tapioca flour. Next up, we've got quinoa flour. It's the same flavor as quinoa, except it's just pre-cooked and ground up into a flour. So that's really the only difference. It's really good. It's about a 1-to-1 ratio for regular all-purpose flour. If you had a cup in like a recipe that you're using and trying to convert it to Kaufman 1 or Kaufman 2, you use about a cup of quinoa flour. It's very finely ground, and it's got a little bit of a nutty flavor, but it has a lot of nutrients in it. It's got a lot of iron, a lot of protein, a lot of fiber, and it's really good for your diet, and you'll get a lot of extra vitamins when you use that. Next up, we've got almond flour. Now almond flour is basically gonna be like the all-purpose flour of the Kaufman diet. You can pretty much use this for anything that you're baking in. Again, it's almost completely 1-to-1 ratio. This is the fine ground almond flour. You can get this, you can also get almond meal. It's the same thing, it's just ground, this is just ground up a little bit more than almond meal. And lastly, we have coconut flour. The coconut flour is really good. It's got a lot of fiber, a lot of nutrients in it, but it's one of the most difficult ones to use because you use so little in it for a lot of baking. If you had a recipe where it called for a cup of flour, you probably only use maybe 1/4 to 1/3 of a cup of coconut flour. It's extremely absorbent, so it actually goes a long way. And again, these are just a sample of all the flours that you can use alternatively. We've got a whole list of them at knowthecause.com. You can go online and check that out, and have a great day.
I was probably 16 or 17. My parents both smoked. When I heard the word carcinogen, right? Didn't know what carcinogen was, nor did we have one of these dandies, you know. So you go to the library, you look up the word, you write it down on a piece of paper, put it in your pocket. You get in the library at school, Cancer? Cigarette smoking? Mom and dad's increased risk of cancer by smoking? Let's talk a little bit about what we know about carcinogens today. One thing I want to teach you, and I always want to do this on this show, is that fungi make poisons, some of which are carcinogenic. One of them is estrogenic. Yeah, but is estrogen a carcinogen? Okay, let's go. First, let's define it. A carcinogen is any substance or agent that tends to produce a cancer. And it says a cancer because the scientific community believes there's 100 or more kinds of cancer. I think the same poison that causes a lump to grow in your body can make that lump grow anywhere in the body, and then we give it different names. And of course, then there's different pharmaceutical drugs used for these and so forth. So let's study that. Carcinogens, there tend to be two categories. I think there are now three, but the known category is reserved for those substances for which there is sufficient evidence of carcinogenicity from studies in humans that indicates a cause and effect relationship between the exposure and the human cancers. Okay, so carcinogenic cigarettes. We now know that there's a tremendous increase in cancers. Used to be lung, now it seems to be different kinds of cancers, and smoking cigarettes. I'll never understand that addiction, but I live in America where we're free to do what we want to do as long as it's legal and moral. And I don't have a problem with you buying cigarettes, okay? Same with alcohol. I think there's a thread. Oh my gosh, it's bigger than a thread. I think there's a lot of scientific evidence that now supports alcohol inducing many different kinds of cancer. I think there's 5 to 7 kinds of cancer that alcohol induces. I don't know why you do it, but I don't, and that's great. We live in America where you can choose to have a glass of wine if you so think that that's good for your health, okay? So then there is another category called reasonably anticipated. I think today we call this suspected. The reasonably anticipated category includes those substances for which there is limited evidence of carcinogenicity in humans or sufficient evidence of carcinogenicity in experimental animals. And folks, it's inhumane to try out a fungus we know causes cancer. You know, there are Aspergilli fungi that make byproducts. One of them is called aflatoxin. We know it causes human cancers, right? It's inhumane to try that out on humans, so they try it out on pigs and chickens and so forth. And you have your aha moment. Where people eat a lot of this aflatoxin in other countries, we see a lot of liver cancer, so we suspect it. So let me just share with you a couple of known carcinogens. These things are known to cause cancer. Hepatitis B and hepatitis C virus, human papilloma virus, X and gamma rays. I always wonder about that when I'm going through TSA at the airport. Which am I getting? Aflatoxin, I just spoke about that. We know that this fungus byproduct causes human cancer, and yet it's in our corn, tends to be in a few of the peanuts and so forth. Be careful. Asbestos, mustard gas, coal tar, tobacco, both oral and smoking, and estrogens. Did you know one of these fungi, called Fusarium, makes an estrogenic mycotoxin, and we're commonly exposed to it? Just be careful. You don't want cancer. Now you know some of the ways we might be exposed to it. That's a lot of information. Thank you so much, Barb Long, for coming in. I love this cleanse, right? There's the product. There's her toll-free number. Pick it up, give her a buzz, talk to one of their counselors over there about what to take. What do you think about the role of fungus in all these health problems? Folks, thanks to Know the Cause partially, and your doctors finally understanding, this idea is growing and growing and growing. Thank you for being part of it. Thank you for telling your friends about Know the Cause. I salute you all, and I'll see you again next time on Know the Cause.